What up, y'all? It's Alex here with Response, and we are on track number 5 of the Lifestyles of the Laptop Café album by The Other People Place, Let Me Be Me. The previous 4 tracks breakdowns are out, and the next 3 are coming after this, but I'm happy we're at this point. This is many people's favorite song. It's going to be very similar to a lot of other People Place tracks that you've seen so far, and like some Drexciya tracks too, where we have a nice loop, and then we just modulate it smartly. And there you have it. So right away we start off with a kick rising in volume, which is very normal, again, as you've probably seen in past videos. So I wanted to play through those first 2 parts because this scary sounding chords, or sad, or whatever you want to call them, they sound kind of dark and a little worrisome to me. Those are very important, as are these ones. So these are scary chords, and we'll write dreamy chords. I say this because we're going to be switching from these to these a couple times in the track, and that's going to symbolize a big noticeable change. So when we started this channel, it was all about how to make songs and have a sense of progression in them. And again, having like 2 different chord progressions is a way to do that. And these chords also just have very different feels too, just very different like little sound design stuff. But yeah. All right, so we get the introduction of the scary chords, and we get the dream chords coming on a 4-bar loop. And that 4-bar loop is going to be repeating. And let's keep going. Obviously, we get the introduction of this awesome sample, and that sample is going to last till the rest of the song. So that's just kind of cool, how it's going to have that much of staying power. Let me be what I wanna be. We got to keep it interesting, so we add the hat. Cool. So now I get the introduction of the snare as well. I want to point out how the hat pattern's nice. It's nice how it stops at the end, because I feel like it allows that snare at the end just hit a little extra harder. Just because it has that little sense of finality to it, and the hat drops out, so we just get the snare and the kick, which is kind of nice. I also want to point out how, at least in the beginning, it's just kind of an interesting little note, is that you can see we're kind of moving in these 4-bar intervals here based off of this chord progression. And it's cool how the introduction of a new element is often happening on the bar before a new cycle happens. So we have the introduction of this hat a bar before a new cycle happens. We have the introduction of a clap here before a new 4-bar cycle happens. And then we have the introduction of this little gliding synth here. Again, the bar before the next 4-bar loop happens. So it's kind of a cool thing to point out. Now let's just keep listening. To add interest now, they're going to stop adding more drums, and they're going to start adding more melodic pieces in the name of, again, this gliding synth and then the bass line. Cool. So remember how I said earlier they're going to do a lot of switching between these two chord progressions? Well, here you have it happening. So we were just really grooving on this. We got the bass line, we got the gliding synth introduced, and now we're going to be grooving on these different chords. And it's cool because we had these chords earlier, but we didn't have the bass line and the gliding synth playing while these chords are playing. Another cool thing to note is the gliding synth line is also moving on a 4-bar interval, but the bass line moves on a 2-bar interval, while the sample moves on an 8-bar interval. So for whatever that's worth. Now, chords are playing, we're going to keep grooving. And I want to point out one more thing. This track's really mono again, just like all the tracks we've done so far. I think all of them. Don't quote me on that. But like, check this out. If we check its mono here. Yeah, it's basically in mono. And if you don't know what that means, real quick, let me pull up. I did this once before, but I didn't pull up a good example track to do it against. So let me see if I can find a track with, well, I could just do one of my tracks. So my track here has a lot in stereo. This is unreleased. So listen to this weird breakdown. Now listen to it with the mono button clicked. And if you have, again, if you have just one speaker, you might not notice a big difference, but if you have headphones, you will. So yeah, that's just cool to note that this track is so mono, because nowadays in mixing circles and production circles, I mean, it's different for club music, but for pop music, and I'd say most like popular music, people are generally talking about having nice stereo field, and it's just cool how this whole album gets it done in mono, and that's just cool. So all right, so we flip to these chords, and now, like I said, we're gonna flip back to these chords. If you notice here, I didn't mark it, but there's a little snare variation. I notice this doesn't happen very often in the song, so it's kind of funny that just happens there. Again, these tracks are largely played live, so maybe he just punched it in individually there while he was playing the loop. Happen again here. Wait, right here, sorry. You probably noticed there was another variation in there. But yeah, as you can tell, as normal, they're just going to rely on the strength of the loop to really carry this forward, and then just with the modulation by changing chords, and then more modulation by dropping out the drums. And so basically, like many other videos, you're just taking things out, then adding them back in, taking things out, adding back in, and having new combinations of these 8 tracks that you've never had before. So this combination is going to be, like when we get to this point, it'll be kick, but no hat, no snare, sparse, scary chords, let me be, bass, gliding synth. We've never had this combination of things before. And so, yeah, it just sounds interesting. And I want to point out, if you're a producer, especially if you're newer, instead of adding more things constantly to keep trying to make things interesting, maybe just consider using fewer tracks and maybe make those fewer tracks have some variation. Variation in the sense of, if you have all your drums, maybe drop some of your drums out and let your melodic pieces shine like happens here. And then when you bring them back in, we'll appreciate them again. Oh, sorry, then when you bring the drums back in here, you might like appreciate them again. But yeah, just food for thought. So we're going to listen for a while now. Super cool. So I want to point out this part here where we have a lot of scary chords. I like it because it kind of harkens back to the intro here, where you just had a kick in those chords. Because here you have just a kick in those chords, but you also have let me be what I want to be happening. So it's similar sounding to the intro. And the chords are obviously playing a lot, many more times than they did over here. So it's cool how in a way this almost feels like a bridge, like in a pop song, because I mean, yeah, we're still definitely not veering that far away from where we've been before, but at the same time, by letting these scary chords just really do their thing here, I feel like we sort of are actually, like we're by focusing on them for so long, it feels very new, like a new part of the song rather than just something we've already heard and we're bored of. Then that gliding synth comes in, and yeah, I want to say it's kind of cool. We did a breakdown of Black Sea by Drexciya, and there's a similarity here. Let me find it real quick. Yeah, so right around here, I just thought it was cool to point out, and if you haven't watched the Black Sea, yeah, let me pull up Black Sea if I have it. Let me see real quick. It's right around here in the Black Sea track. See how it just almost sounds like an outro. You just have that little pew, which is similar to over here, how you kind of just have this little gliding synth, then the bass line creeps back in. Cool. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out. Some of y'all might find that interesting. Now, all right. So then let's keep going, but we're almost done. You know, they're just gonna bring the hat back in, play the dream chords again. Yeah, not much else to say. Well, I will say this: they are still doing that thing where before a 4-bar cycle, they're introducing the element the bar before. See, look, 4-bar cycle, bar before, 4-bar cycle, almost bar before, like half bar before. But yeah, common trick used in this track. So cool.
Let me be what I wanna be.
So we have a nice echo out on this vocal sample here. And yeah, that's the end of the track. It's really cool. This sample's amazing. It makes people think of so many different things, I'd imagine. For me, it's like a relationship where I felt like I wasn't myself. And I just wanted to feel myself again. And yeah, I'm sure a lot of people, you know, have interesting things. So please subscribe if you like the channel. Comment below if you have some interesting other people place trivia or facts or whatever. Please like the video if you enjoyed it. And you can follow me on Instagram at Alex Wilcox. You can follow us at Response on Instagram too, response.response. And email me if you want these MIDI files. And thank y'all so much. Again, this is part of our 1,000 subscriber special where we're breaking down the entire album of Lifestyles of the Laptop Cafe. And so, yeah, I just really appreciate y'all's support, and I hope you enjoy the next few videos. So have a nice day, and bye-bye.